Hey everybody, welcome to the Power Hour of Love. I'm Charboil and this is
El Bandito.
Oh man, El Bandito. You know, I had a couple of the Legion of Love members tell me, man, what were you guys doing last week? Were you running the gauntlet? Well, you know, we had been away from you guys for so long that we were like, man, we're going to do an extra long, extra awesome show. And thank you everyone from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, everyone who hung out with us the whole night last week. It was an awesome welcome back to the Power Hour 2019.
Absolutely, man. And look, I see that I just pulled my chat up. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about pulling my chat up, but I just pulled it up and I see Ori's out there going so hype.
That's Legion of Love members tell me, man, what were you guys doing last week?
What do you got over there?
Well, you know,
what do we got replaying?
Oh man, something somewhere. Oh man, it's like a blast from the past.
Can you guys hear that? That something's echoing somewhere?
YouTube and Twitch, everyone who hung out with us the whole night.
It was an awesome. Is that this over here?
Let's see.
2019. Here, hang on. Absolutely. We'll just do that for right now until we figure out what that's all about. Hopefully, you guys can still hear us. If you can still hear us, give us a thumbs up out there. Throw some love in our chats, and we'll try to get rid of whatever that is.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
You know, we were having a little bit of Back to the Future action there, man. I was like, oh man, I usually don't get to hear myself, but oh man, I think everyone's saying we're good. We're good, or
yeah, we're still good. We're sounding good. We've got the chat relay working tonight, which we're super excited about, man. I've been working on this for a few months now, and finally got my little chat bot figured out where it can relay chat from all you beautiful people hanging out with us on YouTube to hanging out with us, the Legionnaires over at the Legion of Love, man, on our Facebook page, and our official Legionnaires hanging out with us on Twitch. I know Ori's out there. I see Chimera hanging with us out there. Ori, of course, our fabulous moderator over there in the Twitch universe, man. So, you know, if you say a bunch of crap over there on Twitch, she'll be the one kicking your sorry butt on out. But while she's doing it, she's probably going to tell you about her awesome page because she does a great stream over there on Twitch, as does Chimera. Go ahead and check both those guys out. Or if you guys want to shout yourselves out, everybody everywhere else will get your stuff, I think. So let's try that out. Why not?
Oh, you know it, man. We'll throw a couple shout-outs real quick, man. We got Mike Yak Brown out there, man, partying. Definitely one of our Legion of Love for life. We got Justin K, Rob Anderson. We've got Johnny A. We got Sean Barbara, Justin McPatches, man. Oh, it's so good to see you guys.
Yeah, look, Justin K says, that's now. When will then now be? Now is soon. It's soon enough. And I know that doesn't seem like it's soon enough, but still.
I got to say, man, I know people have always told us, you know, I think there's a little bit of a delay. Well, I think we finally got to experience ourselves in delay mode. So that was pretty interesting.
No doubt. Look, Chimera coming in with those emotes, baby. I see him looking hot, brother. You were right. Monday fresh, looking good. He just got his affiliate status, so you can be an official subscriber now to Chimera's page. He does some kick-ass Super Smash Ultimate. We've got some news about Super Smash Ultimate coming up a little bit later today. Of course, in studio today, well, not in studio, but via satellite, we've got Rob Anderson coming with us from the Indie Advocates. We're going to be joining him in just a few minutes. Boom, the shout-outs work. Hopefully everyone else can jump on those links. They look good in my chat, so hopefully everybody else has got them, and they'll be able to head over to Twitch and check it out. Now, I know what a lot of our fans are thinking, because we've got a lot of fans that we went to school with that we know that are kind of our age, a little bit older, you know, and you're thinking, man, that Twitch world, that ain't for me. Guys, we have had so much fun on Twitch the last few weeks. Get over there and check it out. Totally worth it. It's like sitting in the room with your buddy when you're 14 years old, watching them play games and just shooting the shit and laughing. Now, there are some, you know, janky people out there doing weird stuff on their Twitch. They're little like, hey, we would love for you to join us in the cast tonight or whatever. You know, there's weird stuff like that. Maybe you're into that, and that's awesome, and that's fine. But if you want a good place to start on Twitch, man, try Ori, try Life Reboot, try Wormwood, try Chimera. We have got on our Twitch page, of course, come follow us. We'll get you hooked up with the best people. But we've got a list in our dashboard that tells you some of our favorite streamers that we would encourage you guys to check out.
Oh, definitely, man. No, it's so much fun. So much fun. We had like you said, we had a great time out there, and now it's time to have a great time tonight. So we want to go ahead and we want to welcome in our buddy Rob Anderson.
Oh man, you know what? I don't have our show notes up. That's what's going on. But we do have one other thing we wanted to say before we got into the interview, which of course we want to throw some love Twitch's way. We got something nice and new for you beautiful people out there on Twitch. So have some fun with that.
Absolutely, man. No, we got some Twitch hearts now. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And you know what? Let's see if we still have that delay. That we would encourage you. We do. We've got some feedback there. I don't know what that's doing, but that's going to kill like all the rest of our sound.
Oh man,
so we need to figure that out. I need to figure that out while you just run point there, Charboil, because we won't be able to hear Rob until we get that figured out either.
Okay, well, definitely, Rob, just sit tight. We're gonna fix that. But man, yeah, like we were saying, this past weekend, we were like, oh, we can't wait to get on the show with you guys because we had so much fun last week. And like we said, we know we ran a little long last week, but it was just such a blast that everyone stuck around as long as they could. And yeah, we're just having a blast. We're so glad to be rocking and rolling here in 2000.
Mikey B says that's just for little kids, just like Snapchat. Bro, Snapchat's actually pretty cool. For one, for two. Dude, the majority of streamers I've met have been closer to my age than to like 14-year-old kids. So like I said, it runs the gamut out there of everything you're looking for and all sorts of different styles of stuff. There's more shows like us on there, so you can find other podcasts and stuff doing live streaming things. But there's also a lot of people that are playing retro games, man. Life Reboot especially. He's one of our like favorite streamers we've bumped into so far. He's at one time was ranked like the 13th greatest Donkey Kong player in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So he still plays retro games. Just this last week was playing A Link to the Past. So a lot of fun stuff, even for people who may have a few extra years on them. Not saying that I do, but I think we've got our sound figured out. Let's see.
All right, let's see.
We still got some delay. Or not some delay, but some feedback. I don't know where that's coming in from, man. I'm going to keep checking that. All right.
But like you said, man, definitely going on there and watching some of these guys play, like you said, like Life Reboot was going through and he was playing A Link to the Past for the first time ever. So, he was, a lot of trial and error going on and getting to experience that with him was almost like kind of like the first time you got to play the game, so it was really neat. And he doesn't want you to throw down hints or anything like that. So just let him naturally play. But then there'd be some cats that would be doing these speed runs. So it's like the dude would be playing the original Zelda and then like he'd get hit and he'd reset the game. So you're like, oh man, that's pretty intense. So how are we doing, El Bandito?
I don't know. Let's check. Let's check it out. Oh. I guess we have to be talking, if we have any feedback, right?
Yep.
I don't hear any feedback now, though. We might have got it fixed.
I think we may be good.
We might have got it fixed. Ori, thank you so much. I'm going to throw you some Twitch love out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's just for you. We can hear some Twitch sounds now. Some effect sounds.
Well, I know we were saying that one thing we did miss, while we were off on break and even last week is we didn't get to say happy birthday to all the folks who had birthdays while we were away.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, celebrating Martin Luther King Day today. His birthday is on January 15th, just passed. So we all get a cool holiday on the following Monday usually. So we're off today, and that's super psyched. So for anyone that we missed and anyone who may have an upcoming birthday that we don't know about, this is for you.
That's right, 'cause it's my birthday, my birthday.
There you go.
There you go, man. Well, definitely, if anybody does have a birthday, if you want to throw a shout out for a birthday, definitely throw it in the comments, and we'll get to it as quickly as we can.
No doubt.
But our special guest has been waiting.
Yes.
And let's get on over there, and hopefully everything is going to sound good. So here we go, everyone. Indie Advocates creator, Rob Anderson.
Hey, Rob. How you doing tonight? Is he out there? Now, I know Rob said that he is going to be... Oh, we still got weird lag?
If anybody does have a birthday. Oh, yeah.
Is that coming from Rob? Hold on, I got to mute that and see if that's coming from him.
Can you hear me, guys?
Oh.
I can hear you right now. Can you hear us? Hello?
I can't hear you, but I'm assuming you can hear me.
Oh, okay. Wait, can you hear us now?
Yes. Now I can hear you. I think I was your feedback. I think accidentally you muted you because I couldn't hear you during the show, so I was watching it on Facebook.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was messaging you because I didn't want to say it in the stream because I didn't know if I was right or wrong. But
No problem. Well, we super appreciate it. Looks like we've got things taken care of now. We can ready to jump right into it. Aurelia's already saying that she's so hyped to meet Rob. Now, Rob asked that we don't put him on camera today because he's feeling a little bit under the weather, and he's like, bro, I'm not cam ready. And he is a gorgeous man, as you can see from his awesome illustrated picture here, and he's like really big into working out, so I wish we could have showed him off a little bit. He's a lot better looking than our ugly mugs, but still we get the feeling. I know Senior Bull was sick over the winter break.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we
it's-
get
yeah,
it, man.
yeah.
But we appreciate him still chiming in, and he's going to be taking us on a virtual tour through some of the hottest indie comics, some of the work that he does, his Kickstarter that he's got going on right now, and just all sorts of fun and awesome stuff. So we're psyched to get to it. Are you psyched to show us some stuff tonight, Rob?
Oh yeah, I'm always excited to show off what we're working on, both from creators and myself. It's always something fun.
Well, Rob, I know we could probably tell everybody out in the audience what you guys are doing, but why not hear it from the man himself? Why don't you give a laydown of everything, Indie Advocates, and then also, of course, the upcoming Advocator?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing that we have going on is our site's new look, which, of course, because we're live, it's having trouble loading. Why wouldn't it suddenly have trouble loading? But one of the cool things that we did with the site is we actually added you guys as an affiliate.
Nice.
Awesome.
And it never loads this evening.
We're repping our Advocate stuff right here.
I saw that wonderful shirt. People are actually asking now where they can get those shirts because they're starting to circulate with a bunch of people wearing it.
Nice.
Roland Dan proudly wears it.
Nice.
Oh,
How's
Roland,
Rob
man.
sounding now, guys? Is he sounding a little better? They're telling me I have you too low.
That's the first time I've ever heard I'm too low. Usually, and you guys have been in a panel with me, you know that I don't even need the microphone. I can just walk around.
Dude, I have to say, like, when we saw you at the Indie Takeover at Daytona Beach Comic-Con Fall, we just had such an amazing time. Like, you had, like, hands down the most informative panel I've ever been to, and I've been to a ton of them at MegaCon and stuff.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I try to give something to the people who show up, and I try to pace it so it's something that's interesting to everyone. Because there's nothing worse than just sitting there and listening to everyone else tell you what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I thought was so fascinating was that the other comic book creators that were there, as they would start telling a story or talking about the methods that they use to get their comic published, because again, these are all indie creators who are like kind of self doing everything. You were able to tell some people, hey, I actually have a bit of advice on a different way to do that. That'd be even better,
Well, I mean, it's all about sharing, and we all learn from each other. So it's what we can do, and it's what we do for each other. I mean, every day in the indie comic industry, we're helping each other out. We're teaching each other new tricks, as it were, and we're all moving forward together, which is, I guess, the ultimate goal of indie comics, and that's why we created the Advocator, which is an awesome just journey that all of us creators are going on together.
Oh, yeah, that's so awesome. And again, just to be able to experience that and to realize that we live in a time right now where publishing your own stories is almost more available than ever. I mean, it used to be super, super hard, but thanks to the internet bringing people together, both artists and writers, publishers, creators, printers, it seems like the availability to be able to do something like that has gotten better and better and better. What are your thoughts on that?
I absolutely agree, and some of that actually comes at a cost because then you get some people who don't necessarily take it as serious as they should. We suffer through that when you see I've done reviews last year. I counted 100 and I think it was 5 in total books that I read. Out of 105, I was able to only review publicly about, I'd say, 10 of them in total. So the rest I was just a waste of my time.
Oh, man.
I mean, and I don't mean that badly. I mean, if they had just paid an editor to go through their stuff, they would have had a perfectly fine book. And some of them have come back and actually done a couple of the changes, and some of them haven't. So my biggest thing with it being easier is that if it gets too easy, just like the internet. Remember when the internet used to be hard to sign on and there were less trolls?
Yes.
Now it's easy to sign on and everyone's got an opinion suddenly. I think we did an IQ test to get on the internet. If we did that, the internet would be so much better overnight.
No doubt, man. Well, real quick, I want to give some shout outs. Life Reboot is joining us. What's up? AJ Devils is out there. Yo, buddy. Thanks for stopping in and checking it out. We're talking to indie comic book creator Rob Anderson, and he's going to tell us all about some of his projects. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the website? You finally got it up here?
I finally got it up. If you guys notice, you're right here in our little area for all the different places we have, the Power Hour of Love and the latest Power Hour of Love.
Oh, man. That's awesome, Rob. Thank you so much for that.
So, and you can see it's live right now. I believe I spelled latest wrong. It's a problem with being dyslexic. You look at things for a half an hour trying to decide if it's right or wrong before you spell check it. So I'll take a look at that once the site we're off. So we're going to actually have it loaded. But you guys can see what's going on. I know you guys are fans of Comics in the Classroom.
Yes.
Oh, we love them. We love them. They're so good. We
had a panel this weekend with them.
Oh, fantastic. I know, yes, when they talked again at the Indie Takeover, I was very surprised that people were pushing that. I know our local comic book vendor, Big Dog Comics, Captain Joel up there, he loves giving away comics to teachers who come in there so that he can support them and support comics in the classroom. But I didn't realize how large a movement this was and that there's actually a campaign behind it that people can join on Facebook. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, up until this point, it's honestly been one of the most misorganized, possibly great ideas that I've ever seen. People just haven't been able to put it together. There are so many people in so many different places. And what Nicole is doing is great, but I have a bigger vision for it. I would like to see us interacting with every state. This has to be bigger than just Florida. This has to be bigger than even just me. Like I've always said, and one of the biggest problems I've had is that people for too long equated me as the Indie Advocate and didn't realize that I wasn't Indie Advocates. I want to pass Indie Advocates on one day and let it continue to do what it does because it's a global digital Comic-Con that supports indie creators. One day I might not have the time to do what I do. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
When that day happens, I want to pass it on. That's what Comics in the Classroom has to be, something that we can pass on to the next generation of new creators, new teachers. I think Nicole would always be part of it, but we obviously want to bring in people from all different states and have the reach go gigantic, not just be about one person.
No, that's such a cool concept, man. I know we've talked before about things branching out and kind of just, like you said, you kind of planting the seed and just hope that it just, like I said, sprouts like a tree, man, and just kind of hits all those different avenues because it's such a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I thought about Comics in the Classroom was not only the strong moral fiber behind comics. There are a lot of mature comic books. I mean, obviously, Travis, one of our favorite indie creators, did Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies. That's, a very noir kind of ultra-violent book, and that's great, and that's fun, and we should run the gamut. But there are so many stories that have such great moral fiber and such good lessons about not only how to be a good person, but how to respect diversity and how to be inclusive. I mean, even going back to X-Men comics, that was such a big lesson, and it's awesome to get that into the hands of kids while they're young, to get kids who may not be the best readers to get into reading more. I know that was something that got me into reading more when I was a kid because I struggled, through big novels, but comic books, you get little short bursts of reading and you're reading way more than you have before in a very short time and getting some great content at the same time.
Oh, absolutely, man. I see Rob went ahead and he put a link down there in the comments on Facebook, which, like you said, I think those are those all feeding over to Twitch now, man? Can everybody see those over there as far as we can see?
Yeah, it looks like it. I see Ori's down there talking to some of our Facebook chatters.
So perfect.
She's making some new friends, so that's awesome.
Good. That's great, man. And like we said, definitely. Oh, I see Chris Hall's joined the party. Our buddy Chris Hall, definitely another fellow comic creator. So definitely, man. This, like you said, the whole Comics in the Classroom, I think, is an awesome idea, and we definitely support it all the way.
I'm glad to hear that because we're going to need support to really change people's mind about comic books because constantly when we're doing these panels, we have not found a place where we hadn't had to address the fact that comic books aren't for kids. They aren't lower media. And there's this idea that if you read comics, they're dumbed down stories. But I'd argue sometimes the stories are more deep than half the things you have out there nowadays.
Yes. Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
compare any comic book to Twilight any day of the week.
Well, what's the thing about comics that I really love is that they're constantly kept relevant. So while it's great to say, here's Moby Dick, here's Julius Caesar, these are great classic works, but they're hard for a kid to relate to sometimes. And comics are usually pretty easy to relate to because they're written or told very much in an everyday setting.
I absolutely agree.
Well, definitely, Rob. You know, like I said, the indie advocates. We know you're always on there doing your live show as well. Definitely spreading the word about the latest and greatest stuff coming out, not just in comics, but everything out there in the indie world. Definitely, also embracing us in that collective. So we really appreciate that, man. And yeah, it's just so awesome.
Well, Rob, we do have some questions coming in of people wondering how can they support comics in the classroom. Obviously, people can head over to their Facebook page, but do they have a specific website that people can visit if they're, say, not on Facebook?
I don't believe the website is ready to go yet, but it's very easy to find the actual Facebook. I made it real simple.
Okay.
I don't know why we have Kevin, Mr. Wonderful, on our site today. We have the weirdest ads some days. If you scroll past the weird ads, here it is, The Importance of Comics in the Classroom. Click the image for more. And you just click it or open a new tab because you want to keep open our site because it's got so much great information. And you can go right over here to Comics in the Classroom. You can send a message. There's a character of Nicole herself, and we hit 700 likes, so I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
And this is where Brian K. Morris was. For those who don't know, Brian K. Morris he runs the Rising Tide Network, and he does an amazing job of helping out creators. Have you guys met Brian K. Morris? Because you guys get along really well for the things that he loves to do. You guys really should pair up at one point.
Well, we'll definitely have to make that a point. Does he usually attend most of the cons and stuff, Rob, or should we reach out to him directly?
Well, you're not going to see him down here. I'm trying to get him down here. He might come down for what we're calling an indie showcase.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
We're taking over Acme comic book store in Longwood's back room, and we're doing showcases 4 times this year. And I'm trying to convince him to come down for one. I'm hoping if it gets really cold, I'll get him down for a spring version. Like maybe he'll come down and hang out with us in the summer.
Yeah. But, hey, last night was getting pretty close. We got down to 42 here where we're at.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm partially sick, too, because I'm such a nerd. I went outside in the 42-degree weather, a little sick, watching the moon
Yes.
for an hour, becoming a popsicle.
I know we've got a lot of fans, in different parts of the country, so I'm sure they're going to love hearing us complain about 40-degree weather. We've got people up in Connecticut that are,
They were praying.
40 degrees hurts. We can all agree on that. You might have it worse, but 40's not cool.
Yeah, the difference being is that the average temperature, that is so far below the average temperature that's what counts, But
Absolutely.
look, we've got El Crudo joining us from YouTube, buddy. Thanks for joining us out here. He says, I've seen comics in classes at the university level. He's absolutely right. I actually have a textbook from the Physics of Superheroes that is fantastic. It's the best physics books I ever read because I understood it. But it talks about momentum and fulcrums and stuff, all based on like Spider-Man's web slinging and different things like that. So super fun book. But yeah, definitely there's a lot of great stuff going on in comics that can be great learning tools.
Absolutely agree. And just to touch on the question that they're asking, how they can personally do something with comics in the classroom beyond liking just a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, liking a Facebook page will never make any real change.
Sure.
So the real change comes from us having the conversations at our local schools. I'm a parent and I'm a children's book author. I'm going to be making my way into the actual school system, finding a way that I can read the book to children, getting something started, because the younger you start, the more likely you are to have people continue on that journey of exploration into creativity. Yeah. If you think about it, it's crazy. We start off with kids' books with all these pictures, and then we suddenly take away every single picture and go, here, read this.
Yeah.
Bored. What if we just kept pictures on more? If we think about it, language is actually basically new for human beings in a written form for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
200 years ago, there weren't a lot of people who read.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Certainly forcing reading on everyone, and we're expecting everyone to live up to these standards and tests. I'm very dyslexic, and I know you guys have been there when I talked about the fact that comics saved my life. And if I hadn't had comics in my life, I wouldn't be where I am today in any aspect of my life. And I owe them for that. So I am very much an advocate for the idea that children should be inspired to read any way we can. And if comics can do that, then we need to do that.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's a great message. I can't help but watch the chat down here, though. Everyone complaining about how cold it is where they are, Rob. They're saying 40 degrees would be warm to them. We don't even have a single degree. They're in negative degrees in some places, they said. 9 inches of snow we got.
Yeah, but let's remember, these are the same people, and I say this with love, that were complaining a few weeks ago that 42 degrees was cold when they were used to the fall and summer temperatures. So it's all perspective. Because remember, for those who don't live in Florida, we're in 80 degree weather all the time.
Yeah.
And suddenly you drop from 80 to 40. That's a lot for your body to go through. You guys are at like 50 and going to 30. You're already wearing jackets. We go out in the morning wearing shorts, come home an ice cube because we went down to 45 degrees by sundown.
That's so true, man, because I think it was like 74 or something yesterday, and then at night it's like 42. You're like, that's nuts.
Yeah, it was almost like a cartoon, just seeing that temperature drop so fast. Oh, Eric G's joined us. How's it going? He's definitely one of our favorite Legionnaires, always joining us every week. Good to see you, buddy. We're talking with Rob Anderson of Indie Advocates.
Absolutely. And I know we've got a lot of teachers who do watch the program, and thank you guys for throwing down so many comments about wanting to support comics in the classroom. And Rob's absolutely right. Whether it takes talking to your local comic book vendor or teachers themselves, the teacher who instructs your kids, your friends' kids, whatever, you want to talk to them about, hey, try sliding some of these in once in a while. I mean, a girl I know, a friend of mine who recently became a teacher, I took her to my local comic shop. We were hanging out. He gave her a bunch of stuff to hang in the classroom, posters and things like that, and that got people jazzed. She took a stack of books, put them on the bookshelf in the back next to all the other books you could kind of rent from her little class library, and before she knew it, those comics were flying in and out of there. So, kids want to read this stuff. They're getting good stuff out of it. This is a win-win all the way around. So,
I absolutely agree, and I think there's nothing better than empowering our children. And I know it sounds corny, but it's the truth. Children are our future, and they are really what we're giving all the problems right now that we do have in the world with global warming and all the things that these kids are going to have to solve that we've not necessarily our generation. I think our generation are kind of the generation that just got handed a lot of stuff, and we're like, you really want us to fix everything?
Yeah.
But we have to give the tools to the generation below us to be ready to do it.
No doubt. And what's cool is that, and again, this may sound silly to some people, but to read a comic and read about how the X-Men defeat Mojo from the planet, Crazy Pants, whatever that was, and they figure out a way out of that scenario through teamwork, that's going to help these people figure out how to solve these problems,
Absolutely.
I love Mikey B here, one of our favorite Legionnaires, man. He's in there saying, get better, Rob. Stop being sick. He's even got a hashtag heal Rob Anderson.
I'm trying.
Well, also, aside from, I see it right up here, you have the now on Kickstarter. Rob is a huge, huge advocate for many Kickstarters out there. Honestly, a lot of the Kickstarters that we spoke to last year, we know either had a mutual friendship between Rob or maybe just on their page they said, hey, is there anybody out there, any podcast or web shows that want to talk about these Kickstarters? Rob would throw our name down there. So we also appreciate that, buddy. But man, yeah, Rob is a huge advocator for Kickstarter campaigns.
Absolutely. So Rob, do you want to throw us a couple of cool Kickstarters for our fans out here that they can check out?
Sure. I mean, I'll run through it. I'll do the announcer voice for you guys. We'll run through a couple of the Kickstarters that are on there. Of course, we have The Advocator Presents. The Advocator is comic shows of indie comic book franchises, giving you more of the characters you love in indie comic shorts. You have to check out Cornrows, part 1 of the urban fantasy comic book, exploding into comic book pages now on Kickstarter. You guys have heard of Travis Gibb mentioned, and here he is again. Marcel Dupree and him teamed up to bring you Dog Days. It's Zootopia, showing the Wild Kingdom getting even wilder. And don't forget about Tainted, which actually makes, I don't know about you guys, but I love goth girls. And the character becomes a goth girl. I'm sold. I don't need any more. But it also talks about the journey of anxiety and depression. And I think it's a very powerful message to be able to put that. And I love when comic books do that. One of the books I had, we talked about abuse for an entire issue. And I think that empowers it. Soul Pact, I didn't know this. Do you guys know what a blurred is?
No. I think it's a sex move I invented, but...
No. It's actually a black nerd.
Oh, gotcha.
So my friend Marcel Dupree from Evolutionine Publishing, he wanted to make a comic book about a cheesecake character who is a blurred. And for those who don't know what cheesecake, it means an over-sexualized character. A lot of anime fans will know that right away. But he really thought that there was never representation, so he decided to make it with Soul Pack. Did amazing on Kickstarter.
Nice.
And Hold on, I got one more that's also amazing. The Realm of Spirits. Look at the art in this.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's hot.
Yeah, it's the Blossom of the North Star. It's the second book, and we feature all different Kickstarters. There's Five Blades, which is another Marcel Dupree project, which is awesome. And Frank Martin, who's actually in the Advocator, and we'll talk about him in a few minutes, because I'll read off to everyone who's in it. He actually did a crossover with another indie property. How awesome is that?
Oh, that's very cool, man. Very, very cool. So that's just, once again, that, yeah, you know, it's such a communal effort and everybody's in it together, but definitely these projects, you know, the way that they're going to happen is definitely people going out there and throwing their support. So definitely any ones that you guys see tonight that Rob shows off or tells us about, be sure to check them out. If they catch your attention, you want to go out there, jump on. They're so cool.
No doubt, guys. Yeah, and head over to the Indie Advocates page, like favorite that on your Chrome toolbar, put it in a bookmark or something, because the Indie Advocates page has all of these Kickstarters. You know, Rob is constantly seeking out these great artists, checking like what they're doing, what's going on, and then posting about them all the time. So it's definitely a place. It's a great hub to get to, find some great stuff, and connect with comics that you'll enjoy, because there's so much different stuff out there. And one of my favorite things about the Indie Advocates is that they preach the end of reboot culture. Like, we've even got some stories in our news segment here, it's coming up in a minute or two, about things that are just getting rebooted and redone over and over and over again. And it's like, man, where are all the fresh new stories? I'll tell you where they're at. They're right there on Kickstarter, guys. So if you want something fresh and new and crazy, I mean, look at this crime noir thing that Travis Gibb has here. That's like a Zootopia detective. You know, it's kind of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit sort of scenario. Yeah. Like, let's get another story about that, of some crime noir stuff going on with, you know, prehensile dogs, whatever you want to call them, you know, anthropomorphic dogs, you know, for some fancy words out there. But yeah, this is some great stuff, guys. Well, Rob, we'd love to hear all about the Advocator and everything that's included in it, but I think we're going to take our news break real quick first, and then we'll talk all about the Advocator on the other side. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan. I'll see you guys after the news.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, it shouldn't be too long. We've got a short news segment today because we knew we wanted to dedicate a lot of time to you, but we're going to head over to the newsroom, Rob. We'll be back in just a little bit.
All right.
PoDunk News.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, man. If it's your first time tuning in tonight, we know we get a lot of awesome folks over there at Twitch jumping in and checking us out. This is our segment where we talk about all the crazy stuff that's going on out there in the PoDunk world that we love, that you should love, and we're going to tell you about it right now.
Absolutely. We're going to keep it a little bit short tonight, like we said. I do want to say I hope everybody out there is enjoying the program so far. Rob has so much great information. So does the Indie Advocates, man, which is why we promote that page. We wanted him to come on here and spread the love about what he's doing, because he's literally spreading the love about indie creators everywhere. So much of what he does is help people get connected, like I said, to other artists, publishers, printers, and do the best book that they can. He's going to hook them up with a great editor if they don't have one, you know? So he wants to see people succeed. He wants to see these new stories succeed. If you've ever had an idea for your own comic book and aren't sure where to get started, man, hit Rob up. Talk to him. He is the man in the know, guys. So super cool.
Well, one thing I have to say, man, I know we usually always have some, like, cool videos and pictures and stuff to show people as we cycle through. It was kind of nice tonight having Rob kind of do man those duties.
Dude, you have no idea how much me not having to push buttons was amazing for me. So Travis Gibb in the house, he wants us to talk dirty to him. Oh man, sexy boy coming in.
Oh yeah.
We'll save it for a little bit after the broadcast. How does that sound, Travis? But hopefully you just heard our bitch and plug for your new book.
Dog
that you're doing
days.
With, yes, Dog Days.
So cool, so cool. All right, so what do we got on that news segment? We'll get back to Rob and all the gang in a second.
Let's do some news. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We hope you're having a super ton of fun. Look at that, dude. We've got a ton of viewers out there.
Oh yeah, people are partying. Thank you guys
yeah.
all. Throw them some love, man. Throw them some regular love, and then throw them some Twitch love.
Here's some
too.
regular love for all you beautiful people out there, and here is some special Twitch love just for our Twitch viewers, people hanging out with us out there.
Absolutely, man. Oh, so all right, what do we got first on the list here, Bandito?
First up, another reboot again. This one might not be so bad. Tell them a little bit about it, Senior Bull.
All right, so Ivan Reitman's son.
Yes.
He is actually going to take the reins for this one.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in control. So if you guys don't know, Ivan Reitman directed the first 2 Ghostbusters movies.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and he was a huge, not to interrupt, but he was such a huge influence on the film. As in, like, he was the one that told them, hey, like, make the beginning sort of normal, where you guys are like regular guys, and then build up to the point where you are like full-fledged Ghostbusters and there's a Marshmallow Man and all this crazy stuff is happening, you know, because it was like it had to be believable at the beginning and then work into it. So Ivan Reitman is such a committed person when it comes to this film and is so in love with it that he has always said, like, I don't want anyone to ever, like, you know, get in here and mess around with the originals, you know?
Absolutely.
But this is his son, Jason. And he's like, yes, okay, my son will pick this up and do a sequel, right? So this is going to be another sequel, but set in the original Ghostbusters universe.
Yes.
So I noticed we didn't have our notes up. I wasn't sure how much you remembered.
No, it's okay. I'm glad you jumped in there. I did get to pull them up, so
Okay.
I'm kind of away from the chat for a few, but we're going to pound through this real quick. But they did release a teaser trailer. Did you see it?
I did not.
Dude, it was pretty slick.
pretty cool.
Like, it definitely. I mean, there was obviously no real footage, but Ecto 1 definitely, the original Ecto 1 pops up in there, and you're like, yeah,
That's
yeah,
hot.
you're feeling it. You're like, and it's got the old Ghostbusters soundtrack, you know, do 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 do. You know. I mean, it's probably a terrible. Like, I'm not doing a good job. Exactly, man. But you got that soundtrack, and you hear like the proton packs going on. It's really cool. After the show, if you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, look, Rob is saying it is a sequel, not a reboot. Yes.
Yes.
Ivan Reitman said he doesn't want anyone remaking the original 2 movies, which is why I think that they kind of went with something so different for the reboot that they did do. But I might be thinking of Back to the Future. He did that Back to the Future also, right?
that was actually Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, okay.
So
Then I'm
close.
way off. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. Back to you, Senior Bull.
Well, to get you guys even more stoked, is this film is due out summer 2020. So yeah, we still have over a year to wait. But come on, if we waited this long for Game of Thrones, we can wait, a little bit longer for an awesome Ghostbusters sequel.
Yeah.
Now, while everyone's pretty excited about this, some folks aren't. Such as Leslie Jones, who starred in the reboot, all female Ghostbusters film that came out in 2016.
What was the name of her character?
Oh, geez, I know, yeah.
I only said that because no one knows. Out of all the people we have in chat, if anyone knows without Googling it, I would be blown away.
And to be honest, like, she was probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked her character.
Yeah,
But
still forgettable.
But, she kind of came out and she was like, man, this kind of sucks. That, we put a lot of heart and soul into creating these characters, and now it's pretty much like we're just going to get wiped off the slate. But, I mean, there's nothing saying that. Who knows? Maybe later they'll have a team-up movie or something.
Yeah. Or they'll just run in 2 different parallel universes.
Now, she did kind of assume that it was going to be an all-male cast.
Right.
She was like, and she threw out some political stuff and all that. But
Yeah.
either way, she was just like, this really sucks for us. But I guess, at least so far, Jason Reitman has said that they're looking for 4 teenagers. So they're kind of going a little bit in that, Stranger Things territory, but it should be 2 male actors and 2 actresses.
Okay.
So they're looking to and they're going to kind of come together with the remaining original team, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this does sound like it's a passing the torch scenario, which ought to be pretty cool. I heard it's a follow-up. Yes, it's like a part 3. So concerned Bill Murray made the original work and not sure the level of his involvement. Also, no Egon, like others said. Yeah, no Egon. Bill Murray was the one kind of fighting the 3rd movie the whole time. Like, he never really wanted to do it. So there may be some cameos between him, Ernie Hudson, and Dan Aykroyd as they sort of pass the torch in this film somehow.
There was one gotcha with Bill Murray that he always wanted to have in the movie if they made a 3rd one.
What's that?
Within the first 10 minutes, he would die. And then he would be a ghost the rest of the movie. But I guess, so who knows, maybe
that's what they'll do still.
Maybe Jason Reitman's like, I can make that work.
Yeah.
Now, I know they have said for Zombieland 2, Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray are set to appear in that. So it sounds
zombies.
like, it sounds like they're patching up whatever, things they may have had against, the problems that they had. So hopefully this comes to fruition and we get to have an awesome sequel.
Obviously, this is very early news on this subject here, but we wanted to get it to you guys as quick as we could and enjoy some speculation on what's ahead in the realm of the Ghostbusters, man.
All right.
We've got some other fun stuff to talk about tonight. Next up, the Battle Royale. The ultimate battle royale.
Yeah, this one I saw kind of like on another news site, and I was like, I want to share this because I was like, wow, this is kind of an interesting concept, but I don't know how much water it holds. What it is that Netflix is claiming that Fortnite is more like a competitive force than even like HBO.
Yes. And
it's mostly due to like the amount of screen time people spend on Netflix to the amount of screen time that they spend on like HBO and Fortnite, being that Fortnite has a lot more. Now, what do you think about that? Do you think that's a fair assessment? You're talking about a video game versus a streaming movie show.
Okay, well, it's just so they're saying that Fortnite has more viewership to it than HBO.
Yes.
I 1,000% agree with that. There's hardly anything worth watching on HBO right now. Not a lot of people watch movies as much as seem to spend their money on games. And the amount of hours that we put into a single game that we've purchased versus a single movie that we have. I mean, even me as a big Avengers fan, I think I've seen the original film maybe a dozen times. So you're talking that's maybe 30 or 35 hours that I've put into that one film. That's huge for a single film, to have dedicated that much time to it. But what do we have? 300 hours in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
300 hours in Skyrim.
That's true. I guess, from
Party Man Will coming in with the 31 days played, and what was that?
Oh, man, I think you're more like up to like 39 days now. And Elite Dangerous,
Yeah, so the time spent in games... I definitely understand that that's pulling that viewership away. But HBO being such a cable subscription that it can only add on to other stuff. I guess they have their HBO Go stuff that you can get. But I don't think there's a lot enticing new viewers. So
I think that would be an interesting, question to throw out to our Twitch legionnaires out there. How many of you guys actually subscribe to Netflix still? Like, I mean, I know like they do a lot of,
the answer's here before you even said it. Or he's saying, Netflix, we get it. You're trying to be cool. It's okay. Just accept the kids don't want you anymore. Honestly, Chimera chimes in. Honestly, they probably want kids to watch Netflix over Ninja. No doubt. Kids really love Fortnite and Fortnite streamers. And Life Reboot says, I invested in Netflix a while back and like how they keep reinventing themselves. No, it's very true.
Yes.
Like their original content, like they're banging out more original content than HBO does.
Sure.
So I get it. I get why they're like, that's not a contender. What's a contender is all this game stuff. But again, I don't think a lot of young people were watching HBO. I mean, what were they watching? Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
no. So what were they over there? What were they expecting those numbers to be? I don't know. It's a little weird.
I guess after like Netflix kind of made this statement, they kind of got a lot of backlash of people being like, really? Like, you're going to go after a video game? So what they did say is, of course, they have thousands of actual competitors. I mean, just from the various, what they call like baby streaming services that keep kind of popping up. Yeah. Not that they have babies, but like that they're just kind of like, hey, now we got Shudder for our horror films. We have, this one over here for those type of films, and it's just like, we get it that there's a lot more, but they just say that, Fortnite is one of the biggest. Like they consider that one of their biggest competitors. And actually, as of right now, Netflix has 139 million subscribers as far as like the network count goes. So I mean, they definitely have a hefty subscribe limit.
Yeah, that's almost half the country. So that's a lot of people. Ori coming in with what's HBO, girl. When you hear people going dun na 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 na, that's HBO.
That's awesome. Well, definitely, man. I know we got some other wild stuff. We wanted to throw in a video game one related, a kind of interesting perspective there. But we got some more, and then we got Rob Anderson, of Indie Advocates waiting. So let's pile on through.
No doubt. But there's a little bit of speculation thrown around about the Far From Home villains that we wanted to address real quick. This, of course, is Spider-Man Far From Home, the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. That's going to be coming out sometime in July. I think July 5th.
Stoked.
Yeah, it should be a super good movie. I know we've got a lot of stuff to get through before we get there with Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame. But by the time we get there, we're going to have a lot of wild stuff going on because, they've been rumoring Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. He's actually in the trailer, so that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like a badass version of Mysterio, too. I really dig it. A lot of people are speculating where he does the kind of mist hands. Will he actually be a mystic, more like the kind of reinterpretation of Mysterio after he was replaced in comics and more like Doctor Strange, per se? That might actually be pretty bitchin'. That might be a really cool way of wrapping Mysterio into the story.
Now, he is playing Quentin Beck, the original Mysterio, but like you
by
said...
name.
Yeah, by name. But no, I think that would be pretty cool, versus just being like the special effects guy. All I have to say is for like a split second when I saw this trailer and saw him, of course I knew it was Jake Gyllenhaal, and we had, knew that he was going to be Mysterio. I'm like, he better have the dome. Like he better be like having
the fishbowl.
Yeah, the fish. But yeah, within like the next scene or so, you see him flying around wearing. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was about to freak out on you there, Marvel.
Yeah, look, Life Reboot got it. So they make $1,390 million in revenue monthly.
Yeah. That's...
Hey, some people pay extra for getting the DVD mailed to them. So
hey, I'm paying. Now that I have like a fancier TV, I'm paying a few extra bucks to get like the HD content or like the 4K stuff. But I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot of it on. Like I'm almost kind of like, maybe I should go back a few steps until they have a little time. I mean, all the Netflix stuff looks great, like The Punisher. Awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of great shows on Netflix that I like that I've been watching for a few years. So I'm not ready to get rid of my Netflix yet, but I ditched cable a long time ago. Absolutely. But anyways,
fishbowl for the win.
Fishbowl for the win, dude. Special effects Mysterio would be great. Just either one's kind of fine. I'm comfortable either way.
I'm just glad he's in a movie.
Yeah,
he was originally supposed to be played by Bruce Campbell in the original. Like that was supposed to be
Sam Raimi treatments.
Yeah. That would have been wild.
And that definitely would have been great, especially if they went the Quentin Beck special effects artist guy, because he's such a the king of the B movie actors.
Oh yeah.
But more importantly than that, than Mysterio, who we kind of know is the confirmed villain, what everyone's really speculating on is kind of the wild other characters that they've shown. And here we go. They show them here. They're in the background with comic interpretations up front, right? So people are thinking that this is Hydro Man, the Sandman, and Molten Man, right? Each one respectively being shown there. But a lot of people are like, are these illusions that Mysterio's creating? Right?
That's an interesting
Or are these in fact the elementals?
Yeah, no, that's I hadn't thought about that as far as like being like and of course Mysterio swoops in to save the day, and that would because like in the trailer everyone's kind of like, oh man, that guy was so awesome, and it's like, well, he's I would assume he's gonna have to go the villain route, so that's a good take, but like you said, really the question being, are these the elemental characters which have completely different names aren't the Sandman, Hydro
Do I have
Man?
a picture of them? No, I don't. I guess I left it out.
Oh,
I thought I had a picture of them. But...
We thought this picture perfectly encompassed that it had, of course, the actual characters are going to be in the movie, and then we were like, wow, that would be kind of wild. I know if people aren't a Spider-Man fans, they're probably like, what is this, a Mega Man thing? Molten Man, Hydro Man.
Yeah, no, this was certainly a fun set. I think I have the names of the original elementals in the show notes if you still have that up.
I'll pull that up right now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Okay, so they had Hydron, Lord of Waters, Magnum, Master of the Earth, Hellfire, Wielder of Flame, and Zephyr, the Mistress of the Winds. Now, what's cool about them, right, is that if anyone recognizes any of those names, you probably do from reading Captain Marvel comics, because these characters were more in the rogues gallery of Captain Marvel. So here's the interesting, conundrum that everyone who's speculating about the movie is in right now. While these could be these three iconic Spider-Man villains, it could also be three illusions that Mysterio is creating to, again, try to make himself look like a hero, but he's really, a bad dude. He's wrecking a bunch of stuff to make himself look cool, and he'll get outed on it. But the next theory here about the true elementals is the fact that Nick Fury is showcased in the film, and there's one scene where a blonde-haired woman is standing next to him with her back to the camera. And a lot of people think that may actually be Captain Marvel.
Ah, okay.
So if she's hanging around, there's a very good chance this might be the original set of the elementals, and leaving Zephyr, the goddess of wind, out of the trailer is probably a good way to keep the audience confused. So either
Sure.
way, with all the shenanigans that they pulled for the Avengers Infinity War trailer, changing Spider-Man's costume in scenes, changing the number of Infinity Stones in Thanos' gauntlet during
Yep.
different scenes, just so they could have a trailer that didn't spoil anything, I think that there's a very good chance that there's a lot going on that we don't know yet, and that may in fact change from what we've actually seen in this trailer. Either way, it's exciting for Spider-Man fans. So we want to share that
it, man.
with all
I think
you
it's going to be
beautiful people.
great either way. But yeah, we'll have to see as it gets a little. We'll get some more trailers. We'll get to check it out. We'll get to see actually how Spider-Man does come out of the hourglass, because the last time we left off, I loved there was that meme that I shared with you where it had the one dude that was like, he looked like Thanos. He's like, "Am I a joke to you?" Like, because they released that before Endgame, But,
Yeah. Well, Life Reboot got it. He says, "I think Mysterio is making special effects to appear like a superhero and get famous." Yeah, that was kind of his thing when he was the special effects guy.
Yes.
And then was that Kevin Smith that wrote the story where Quentin Beck died and they replaced him?
I think it was.
I think it
I'm
might
pretty
have been
sure-
Kevin Smith that wrote that one.
Was that a female Mysterio that came in after that, or
I don't think so.
They do that
been a
so
while.
often in comics. It's like
Yeah.
they'll I mean, Loki was a female for a little while there. It's like but
Anyways, there's some cool Spider-Man, some cool comic book news for you guys out there. Let's jump into some local love. This will be our last bit of the news. No headlines tonight, like we said. We were trying to keep it short, although we rambled on forever there.
Rob's probably sitting there like, I could talk about the Spider-Man.
No doubt. But all right, some local love. We got some cool stories we wanted to share with you guys. Of course, the Orlando Toy and Comic-Con is coming up this weekend, man. This should be a great event. Tell them all about it, Senior Bull.
Oh, yeah, man. It's happening at the Florida Hotel and Conference Center in Orlando. Doors open at 10 a.m. on both days. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday. Tickets are $15 a day or $25 for the whole weekend. Last week we told you guys a little bit about this event, but this week we're going to tell you about some of the awesome guests that they have. And like we were saying, especially with having Rob Anderson on tonight, definitely you can come out and meet some other awesome writers and artists that work on these great books. We're going to have Billy Tucci, an artist who has worked for both DC and Marvel.
Yeah. You can get some fantastic prints from him.
Exactly, man.
Super nice guy.
And like you said, definitely, I know a lot of people who have been reading comics for like the last 15 to 20 years, might even have a couple of Tucci's work in their collection. Feel free to bring that on up, talk to them about it, maybe even get a couple signatures. But be sure to support these guys, man. Those guys are out there spending the day with you. Definitely go out, like you said. El Bandito has some really awesome prints that we really do need to showcase on one of our upcoming Power Hours of stuff he's gotten from Greg Horn and a lot of these other great guys. But also Neil Adams. I mean, definitely a well-known name for his work on Batman and the Green Arrow.
Yep.
Honestly, the modern version of Batman that we see, a lot of that was like Neil Adams's contributions. Now, I know if you go back and look at the, Batman's first appearance, a lot of that stuff is carried over, but just the symbol, the way the cowl kind of has gotten longer in some cases, and almost like a Spawn level in some cases. It's so long, definitely, go out there and meet up with Neil Adams. I'm sure he has got a lot of knowledge to share. And same thing, if you got a couple books, might be able to get some autographs. And then also we have Donnie Cates, who's a newer creator. He's a writer who has worked on both the latest editions of Venom and the Thanos comics. So probably some of the stuff he's doing in those recent Thanos comics might even be transitioning to film. So, I mean, why not go talk to the guy who is pretty much influencing what's going on out there in the MCU. There's a bunch of other great guests that are going to be there. Be sure to check out the Orlando Toy and Comic-Con on Facebook. I'm pretty sure they also have a web page that we'll be sure to share after the show.
No doubt. And we do have one special other local love event that we wanted to get to and tell you beautiful people about, because we know there's a lot of people hanging out with us in our area. And you may just catch Charboil and El Bandito out here. But real quick, bro, we got Wormwood hanging out with us in the chat out there. What is up? One of my absolute favorite streamers out there. I was just watching him the other night rock some scum, kick some ass on ROE. Ori, if you want to shout him out, absolutely please do. I'm such a fan of his stream, man. We have such a good time, and I enjoyed hanging out with him while he was eating buffalo chicken pizza.
Hey,
It's making me totally jealous.
Some of our best viewed episodes are ones where we're eating stuff.
Yeah.
Man. That's really big right now.
No doubt, but I appreciate you joining so far. Right now, we're doing our news segment, man. We're just about to wrap that up, and we're going to get back in to talking with indie comic book creator Rob Anderson, who's going to tell us all about his current Kickstarter, the Advocator Winter Edition, where he has a compilation of indie artists all writing short stories for an awesome Kickstarter project that they're doing. But real quick, like I said, we got one last local love I wanted to tell you guys about. If I could borrow your show notes in your bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
I've got most of my screen all janked up over here. But Power Up Wednesdays are coming at you, man. This is going to be down at the Copper Blues in West Palm Beach, right? And this is the Rehkt Gamer Lounge presents their Power Up Wednesdays. Now, what this is a Super Smash Ultimate tournament going down right there in West Palm Beach. It's an open invite. Anybody can come in and play. It's $6 to join the tournament, completely free to watch, so super fun. Oh, we got some wormgasms in the chat down there. I love that, man. That's his emote. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
But yes, so the most current one, of course, is Wednesday, January 23rd. From 9 p.m. till 1 a.m., they'll be running the tournament, doing competitive head-to-head stuff down there in Super Smash Ultimate. There's a $200 pot that they're working on down there, and the ultimate prize for the tournament, I believe, is a Nintendo Switch, they said, which sounds a little weird because wouldn't you have to have that to know how to play already? But maybe it's like a limited edition one or something. I don't know.
I think we need to enroll Mr. Fusion so he could win us the Nintendo Switch. And
that's a good point. We'll have Mr. Fusion play for us. We should fly Chimera down here and have him play for us. That dude would win for sure. I've seen him wreck some shop. But yes, $6 to enter, no charge to watch. The event actually starts at 7, but the tournament starts at 9. So if anyone wants to head down there in West Palm Beach, again, that's at the Copper Blues, man. Should be a super ton of fun.
Awesome, man. We're definitely going to have to make our way out to some of these awesome events that are taking on out there in the gamer world. And,
no doubt. Look, Ori says her and Chimera are there. They're on their way right now. Come check it out.
That'd be sweet.
First round's on us, guys.
Well, I was going to say, man, as much as we love going out to doing the conventions, doing our vigilante podcast, we might have to try that, going out to some of these other events and doing our same reporting. You know, definitely
Absolutely.
Get some.
We can do some live on location from the tournament.
Oh yeah! All right, man. I think we've let Rob Anderson wait long enough, and we can't wait to get back in there with him. So, what do you say, El Bandito? We're gonna roll back into the studio.
Let's do it. Let's jump back to the interview room and see what's new with Mr. Rob Anderson. Now, for anyone who's just joining us, Rob's a little bit under the weather, so he's just going to be throwing some stuff on the screen rather than his normal beautiful face that we enjoy so much. But he's going to walk us through the Advocator Winter Edition right now and tell us about the awesome collection of short stories that you guys can get when you sign up for this Kickstarter. There are multiple levels of pledges too here, guys, so you can get your hands on these stories for relatively cheap, or you can support a super ton and throw a ton of money at them. But how you doing, Rob?
I'm good, and just so all your audience knows, you can find out where the most local Comic-Cons are going to be every week on our show, the Comic-Con Forecast, where we turn the United States map into an actual forecast for Comic-Cons.
Awesome,
That's so
man.
good, so good. I've watched many of those shows. I need to become more of a constant watcher because I know there's a lot of stuff going around here in Florida that you hit, Rob, that we're definitely going to have to check out over the next year.
Yes.
And the awesome thing about it is we've actually now made it so it's its own little group. You can look it up through the Comic-Con Highway here and just go to 2019 Comic-Con Highway. It'll show you the entire year of where creators we know are already going to be. So it's already showcasing shows all the way through December.
Wow.
Fantastic, man.
The one-stop shop, man. You know, and like, of course, as we always love to do, because, you know, of course, it's awesome that Rob's getting it out there. We love to showcase them during our local love segment during PoDunk News.
Absolutely.
I appreciate all you guys do for actually promoting the creators, too. And speaking of the creators, mind if I talk about the importance of the Advocator?
Let's hear it.
All right, so we're going to quickly go over what's in the Advocator first. Of course, we have Welcome to the Void. Zero was one side of the coin. Here's the other, and that's brought to us by Chuck and his team. Everyone has a first day at work, even mobsters. Travis gives us Not Broke Down Yet. If someone you love died, would you remember them for who they are, who you wanted them to be? Joseph Duas is bringing us Mary Revised.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Modern Testament, which we talked about, remember, also has the Hollow Testament, the crossover from Frank Martin. He's also here with the ancient story of Noah as his ark gets reimagined for the modern world.
Very cool. You see, again, that's what we're talking about, bringing modern stuff to comics to help people relate better. I love it.
And not talking about too much modern stuff, we travel back in time to Grimwood Crossing as it follows monster hunters in the Wild West. In this short story, they hunt down a ghost of a witch that has been haunting the trail into the town. That's brought to us by Connor G. Bartel. And do you guys know Jamie Primack?
No.
She is just an amazing creative force. She letters her own books. She draws them. She writes them. She never misses a deadline on her Tapas page.
Wow.
She is just a creative force, and we're so privileged to have her to be part of the inaugural edition of the Advocator Winter Edition. And she has the mismatched interstellar heroes of the binary star dropping on a wild party on a black market planet. But while they're building giant tequila ice luges, and getting into territorial bar fights with talking dogs, a psychopathic seductor secretly stalks them from the shadows. Talk about an elevator pitch. That makes me jealous. I didn't create that.
Dude, that's fantastic. And I know that's the book, like when you sent us a kind of a rough advanced copy of this we were browsing through earlier, and that art was like, oh my God, it was so good. I love the black and white on that.
Well, like you said, I know we haven't had the privilege of meeting Jamie yet, but I know we did have Connor on the show last August, and
Connor, Travis, and Joseph have all been with us here.
Yeah, no, it's so great. Like I said, it's such a communal effort, and yeah, Connor's a great storyteller, and man, no, that's right now. We were talking about this last week. Like Wild West is so hot right now. You know, you got Red Dead, you got Deadwood coming back. A lot, people like Westworld. Yep. So man, this is perfectly timed to return to Grimwood Crossings.
No doubt. Now, Rob, I gotta give you some love from the comments down here. Mikey B wants to tell you that Rob just went full salesman infomercial on us. I feel like I'm about to buy a set of steak knives. I don't even know what he's selling, but at this point, I'm super sold. Buy.
Well, that's the point of the advocating voice. And speaking of the advocator voice, let me explain what the Advocator actually is, because some people are still kind of confused about it.
All right, do it.
So the Advocator Presents is a collection of short stories from indie creators who have their own pre-established franchises, now offering short stories of their characters you have fallen in love with, and may even give some insight into those characters. So some of our creators featured in this volume that you're already a fan of, you get a new story that has never been seen before. Nice. The Advocator Presents is a new way to advocate for creators and their creations by allowing them and challenging them to create new stories within their worlds and then advocate for each other on the Comic-Con highway. A great benefit of this project is that creators are all equal in this project, and all creators get an even share of the printed books. No one creator profits over the other creators outside of the hustle of sales at the Comic-Con highway tables. And I am not in this book. I am advocating for it. I get nothing from the Kickstarter. Everything that I will get the copies of the book on my table because, of course, I am the behind-the-scenes creator of it, along with Travis Gibb and Chuck Pino, now Chuck. He got rid of his last name. He wants to be like Cher. I will be buying my books directly from Kraken, who is going to be our printer. So I am super excited about this, talking about it all the time, because I love the fact that just the power of it. This weekend we had Kieran Silva, who did this amazing cover for Chuck in his Void book, which I'll bring up on the screen for you guys right now. He did this, which has a crossover for different brands throughout indie comics. So it's a real crossover, and it's doing amazing stuff. He was in California. Joseph Duas was in Alabama. Me and Travis were in Florida. That was 3 places in the United States talking about the Advocator. Imagine when we're talking about the Winter Advocator, and we've gone through all the seasons, and I make that map to show you how far the Advocator has reached.
Oh, man, that is fantastic. I love it. That's what we love here on the Power Hour, is bringing the community together, some unity for the community, man, getting people connected with other awesome people. And I love to see that that's exactly what you're doing. And, Rob, my hat's off to you, sir, for being like, hey, I'm going to step in here and help these guys get together and put a promotion together that's going to be awesome and get some recognition for all of them. And you don't take a dime for yourself, man. You're a true gentleman for getting out there and hanging out. It's why we so desperately wanted to have you on the show. And we couldn't thank you enough for being here, man.
I appreciate the time. And, to be fair, I am in the second issue of the spring edition, so I'm excited about that. But that time we'll have Travis running it. So, again, the person running the campaign isn't profiting from the campaign. We wanted to remove the greed, and that's what ruins a lot of things, is greed.
Yeah,
if the people running it have no stake in it, like if I promote one person over the other more, it's not on purpose. It just happens to be what we're talking about that day. And we've been switching to different projects. And in the second book, we're doing this really cool thing. You guys will appreciate this. My character, Barbara.
Yes.
From from that, and we're renaming that character's book into Barbara Unleashed this year.
Mm-hmm.
So Barbara Unleashed is going to cross over with my Monsters book and cross over with Into the Void, Into the Suck, which is CB Zane and my good friend Keith Thomas, who passed away from cancer 2 years ago now, are all crossing over into one story at a Comic-Con. And it's going to be 4 pages of absolute indie love and cross-promotion.
Oh, that is fantastic, man. Well, I'm so glad that you're going to get to be involved in some respects, that some people can get a little bit of Barbara Unleashed, in there as well. Yeah, that's just fantastic, man.
And like you guys say all the time on this program, we want new content. We don't want the same old nonsense. We've grown up where we had the Transformers, we had all these new ideas, He-Man and all that. And then we kind of got into the millennium and everything stopped. The new millennium stopped every new idea except the Matrix. It's like we saw the Matrix and that was like, we're still waiting for new stuff. And comic book fans, when we see all these comic book movies, you see millions of people going, wow, I've never seen this before. And as comic book fans, we have a checklist and we're grading it. Not what the comic book did, not what the comic book did, not what the comic book did.
So true. So true. And all the ones that are like the best, most popular ones are the ones that stuck right to the original story that was from 75 years ago.
Yep.
So yeah, it's funny. There's so much good stuff out there. Like I said a little bit earlier in the program, all these great ideas they're getting harder and harder to get to the limelight, as so much of Hollywood is just banking on people's memorabilia, their nostalgia, to keep pumping back into the same content rather than something new. They don't want to take a gamble on it. And I think what you guys are doing, pooling your resources so that you can get out there, get some traction, get a lot of eyes on, especially in different states, across the entire country, across the world, because I know a lot of the artists you guys have come from all over the world. That is just fantastic, man. It's making the world smaller and making the world better by getting more original ideas and original concepts, because if we don't think of anything new, we're just doomed to repeat the failures that, we've made so far. But getting all this new content, that's so great. Like you said, Joseph, I'm going to take a guess that's for Dr. Orange. Is that what your pumpkin's from right there?
Yes, that is the Dr. Orange.
Okay, because when I saw the pitch for Dr. Orange, I was like, that's such a unique idea of having a character who has a sort of psychosis, and you don't know if the actual villain of the book is real or not real, or how that all pans out. So just those sort of concepts that touch someone's real life, it introduces new people to an ailment that someone may really be going through, just will help people become more inclusive and more connected to one another, more understanding. And I just, there's so much good stuff to say about what you guys are doing. I could go on forever. So
Well,
I appreciate that. Did you see the chat comment, though, about Image Comics?
Oh, it says Image failed us. It was our last hope. I feel betrayed.
And go on to read the next one.
Image Comics is the Anakin to my Obi-Wan.
Wow. To address that real quick, here's the problem with Image. Image wasn't indie guys. They were pretty much Marvel-spoiled creators who wanted more money, who went out and created something awesome.
Yeah.
So they didn't fail it. They started something, and it's our turn to make what they started make more sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they came from a place where they were making money. They didn't know how to just do indie. We're creating how indie goes now. So I don't know if Image failed us or if they kind of broke the mold so we could come and play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a difference there, saying that all of those people, they were successful writers and artists at DC and Marvel, and they moved off to have more creative control over their own personal characters. But what the indie advocates, what you guys are doing right now, is building from the ground up. You don't have established printers and people that you know and worked with for decades. Like, you guys are meeting and being collaborative and collecting and building something from the ground up wholly.
Well,
and you're doing that outside of the mainstream. So
definitely. And, one thing I want to bring up, not to take anything away, of course, from the Advocator, but one thing that we got to experience with Rob last year in November when we went to the Daytona Beach Comic-Con was the indie takeover, which where, if you guys have been to conventions, there's usually panels and where you can meet the different guests and so forth. Well, Rob actually had organized the whole the whole series of panels to be all about the indies. So you had indie creators. I know we were even invited to one, which we did opt to more kind of participate in the audience because that was kind of our strong point of being able to ask these guys all the questions. But man, the indie takeover was so cool that it gave people the opportunity to ask folks who are building this from the ground up. So we definitely applaud you on that too.
Well, we're coming back with it again at Daytona on the,
Nice.
I believe it's the 13th and 14th.
Yes.
That's
yes.
April this time, right?
You guys are invited back to come ask questions. You asked some amazing questions. We want you in the audience. And plus, there'll be new creators to talk to. It's going to be a bigger environment. We have a new guy that we want to bring in. Travis Gibb will have just had his newborn.
Oh, fantastic.
We
That's
wanted
good.
to replace Travis Gibb's spot just for this show.
Okay.
With another creator so someone could fill in for what Travis was doing.
Okay.
So we already have someone new coming to you guys.
Okay.
Someone brand new. Because we wanted to bring someone who's not been through it yet to be on a panel to give us that new smell, that new car odor to us old beaten up creators. We want to see that energy. And he's one of the best pitchers I've seen, man. He was at the Acme show that I didn't run. I'll be running it this year. And he would have people stopping right away within a sentence.
Ah.
And they were hooked.
That's
And I was
awesome.
Like, that's a fisherman right there.
Yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the show, seeing the Indie Takeover panels that you guys did throughout the whole course of the day was so engaging. We had talked to so many people out in the rest of the con that we wanted to do an interview with, and we ended up just hanging out watching panels because they were so informative. And you said we asked a lot of good questions. We're humbled by that. We're glad we could be included and have a good time. But for the most part, your guys' wealth of knowledge collectively is fantastic. And anyone who's ever been interested in the comic book scene but never felt like they had an easy access to break into, one of the big three, this is a great way to do it yourself, do it with people who care about it, and do it not for the money, but for the quality of your story, to get your story out there, which is what a lot of people have. You have that tale in your heart, and you just need to get it out there. It's why we have this show, because there's junk in our head. We just need to get out there, So that's, yeah.
And we got to give some love to the guys who are on the panel. We got to mention them by name. We had Marcus H. Roberts. We had Alfred Page. We had the great, awesome Mr. Terrence Baker.
Oh,
we
he's
had
awesome.
George Fiend. We had David Bryan, who does the couch. Of course, Travis Gibb was in house with us.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you guys joined us and were hanging out with us. So it was an awesome time, man. It was like the day went on, like we showed up and then it was over. There was a small part where it rained and no one was coming to see us. And we all looked at each other and talked for like 15 minutes. And after that, I don't know what the rest of the day was like.
Well, we definitely got to give a
That's
lot
what it was
of,
like.
Oh, it was. It was so much fun. We definitely lots of. Let's go ahead and give everyone from Indie Takeover some love.
Heck yeah.
And definitely wanted to throw some extra love to Marcus, creator of The Protector, because we got to tell you, Rob, we did an interview with him, and I think probably even up until like last week, like that video was still getting in circulation, and it was just so great that Marcus was using that and also getting people to come also check out the Power Hour.
Absolutely.
So,
I think that's like our highest watched video ever. I don't know what Marcus is doing, but he's crushing it. It had like 1,700 views. We were like, oh my God. But we got to give the chat a little bit of love out here. Dean K says he's loving this idea of bringing up new content. I hate all the rehashes. Dean K says indie equals original. Well, except maybe the skin books, he says. Aurelia out there from Twitch, man. She's our fantastic mod hanging out with us tonight. She says, grind brick by brick. Trust the process and support will follow. You now have all of us. And that's so true, man. It's what I freaking dig about this girl so much. We met her through Twitch. She's a Twitch streamer who streams games that she loves. Right now, she's been rocking Beat Saber the past week, and it's been super fun. It's a virtual reality game, and you can come to her chat and her stream and check it out, and she'll talk to you and interact with you and ask you how your day was and wants to learn about you legitimately. And she's all about connecting people and connecting with people who loves the things that she loves, the games and things. So you're very much doing the same thing. That's what all you indie guys are doing. You love these stories, you love comics, and you just want to connect with people who love the same thing. And I love that. I love that we're at the center of all of this action, because for us, it's everything that we could have hoped for. So,
yeah, and also Dean Kish, who you just mentioned his comment,
yes.
He's the creator of Tainted.
Oh, awesome.
There you go. We try not to throw out last names if we can avoid it. So.
But absolutely, no, definitely. Rob was trailing through there earlier, and we got to check out that awesome artwork.
Yes, no doubt. We got Spooky Butt joining us too. We got to give her a hello real quick. Here, we'll give her a little bit of Twitch love. How about that?
There you go.
Some Twitch love for you, Spooky Butt. She's out there streaming a bunch of pirate games. I was watching her play Sea of Thieves earlier, so that was super fun.
Oh, Mikey B is saying that he got kicked from the stream when Rob was addressing his image comment, and he's literally devastated. Well, don't worry, Mikey. Once the stream goes off the air tonight, it will be rewatchable, through Facebook and YouTube and all those great places.
Yeah, it will be archived, so
you'll definitely be able to check back.
Rob, I know we don't want to keep you too long. We know you got places to be and like awesome shit to do, but we'd love it if you could pitch to all of our fans out here. We still got quite a few people hanging with us, actually quite a few.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure they would love to hear about your work if you'd like to pitch some of that for us.
If you guys insist, I have no problem with
I
that.
absolutely do, because you were like the first person we met doing our official Power Hour comic scene, and we loved the book we got from you.
Yes.
We tell everyone about it, so yes.
And all right. As a creator, I'm known as the Indie Advocate during my daytime job, but at the Comic-Con Highway, I'm the Indie Devil, and that's because I create books about fetish monsters and more. We created the original Fetish Babies line, which is now morphing into Barbara Unleashed, which this is one of my favorite arts from it. And you guys are going to see some cool stuff right now once it decides to load. There it goes. So this is going to be something new that we're going to be bringing with us to the convention floor. Basically, the character feels very empowered and hates how she's been treated online. So you're going to be able to see some of these comments and stuff, because a lot of what I write is about the humanity of characters, and you guys could probably agree with me on that.
Oh yeah.
I don't do things cheaply. Everything that's done is done on purpose, and this idea that women can't dress sexy really disturbs me, that we have to call a woman a slut when she dresses hot, and it's what we as guys, and I'm sure girls, want to see women looking beautiful. And I know there might be some people who are like, oh, a woman doesn't have to be beautiful. You're right. They don't have to dress up or do anything. I'm not asking every woman to do that. But I am saying allow women to be who they want to be.
Yeah.
And even with my Monsters book, you guys, I gave you guys the Monsters to read, right? Did you ever get to it?
Yeah, I'm sure I read it, but it's been like a year now. So
Fair enough. The Monsters where we turn the classic Universal monsters into regular human beings, and they have genetic disorders. Again, talking about the humanity of characters. And one of the famous things that I have at my Comic-Con show floor is this picture. Have you guys seen this? I think you saw it with Mentor Search.
Yes. And I remember you telling us about the Universal monsters. I think I may have even been wearing like a Frankenstein shirt or something. You're like, hey, you like Frankenstein and stuff? I'm going to tell you about something. Yeah, so absolutely, Rob. But yeah, I do see a few people down in here are like fetish babies with a question mark.
Yeah.
As Rob mentioned, the Fetish Babies line is being renamed into Barbara Unleashed, correct?
yes.
Well, it's being split off. Fetish Babies will continue. What Fetish Babies is, for the question mark, is it's a website that kind of, so basically the character gets herself into trouble in the very first issue, what is known now as Fetish Babies, and will continue to be that. And she creates a website to stop people from getting hurt like she did. She basically gets herself into a bad situation. And the character that you guys are going to meet more of, and I'll tell you a funny story about him in a second, Bruce, he actually calls her a fetish baby because he's in a bad mood that day. So he said, you stupid fetish babies come here and you get in trouble. So to me, the term was very powerful. To Facebook, it wasn't. It became something that was an attack me campaign. I had Me Too movement people coming to attack me because I was sexualizing women. It was not a friendly time for me. So we're giving it Barbara Unleashed because we're unleashing Barbara and letting her talk about who she wants to be now. And we're putting her in the driver's seat. Now, speaking of over-sexualized, this cover right here, you guys can see it on your screen right now?
Yeah.
One of my favorite covers, and no one ever notices the mirror at first. Did you guys notice there's a mirror in it and she looks different on each side of it?
I did, yes. I thought that was fantastic. Very well done.
Yeah. Looking at two different sides of herself. It's basically the same outfit, but one you could wear at a Comic-Con and no one will say anything.
Yes.
If she wore the image in the mirror, people might call her a slut, but why? She feels sexy in both. So it's kind of that moment. So a lot of people are like, well, you sexualize women and all this. What they don't realize is that when we're releasing Barbara Unleashed, we're going to be doing a variant cover we're going to call the Beefcake cover, where Bruce is going to be basically holding a black censored bar over what would be his junk, and that's it, and that's going to be the cover. Bruce is built like Finn Balor.
Okay.
All like, and you're going to see him on the cover saying, "What the fuck?"
So yeah, I have to say I love the whole idea of the original book being about someone who kind of gets into the fetish underworld, but you kind of tell the tale in a very realistic way about how people can fall into things that aren't great, but there's a lot of good stuff there, and people shouldn't feel bad about what they like or what they don't like, that they should embrace it. And people definitely 1000%, one thing we freaking hate on this show is no one should judge them for liking the stuff that they like or wanting to participate in it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's definitely something. Like I'll have the images up, and people will see the name Fetish Babies, and 90% of the time I'll turn around and I'll be like, "Let me ask you a question. Would you laugh if that were two men kissing?" Of course, we've been conditioned now. You're not allowed to make fun of two men kissing. We're supposed to be accepting of it, and I agree with that. I agree completely. On Martin Luther King's birthday, Junior's birthday today, I have to say equality is very important to me.
Yeah,
I always respected people. I was for gay rights before anyone was popular with it. You know what I mean? Yes. I was one of those guys who were like, "What's the big deal? I don't get it. I don't understand it." And when I was growing up, I remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, there was like people treated gay like it was a cold and you didn't know how you got it, and they acted like you were going to catch it. And I just remember being like, well, can I be bisexual? Like, if I got to catch anything, can I have the best of both worlds?
Yeah, El Bandito definitely likes to claim that he is a revolving door of love.
Yeah, I mean, I would have chosen that if I had a choice. I sadly got the straight card.
Well, like we always like to say here on the Power Hour, you know, we're all about the love, you know, and definitely, like you said, and equality is definitely something that we all have to, you know, accept that, you know, we are all human beings, and
we're all gonna like and love different stuff, you know. But the sooner we start accepting that, the sooner we start saying, "Oh, okay, you like that? That's cool. Not into it." And that's the end of it, the better the world's going to be, man. SeaGod77 joining us in the house. Thank you, Ori, so much for throwing up some topics and some stuff. Best mod we could have asked for. You the best.
Oh, and oh man, Steve Z's out there. Oh man,
hey, where's he been hiding?
Oh, absolutely, definitely one of our biggest video game player fans. You know, now definitely Steve, man. When that Name That Game tournament comes around, you better be ready, buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna have some competition now that we connected to the Twitch world. But Rob, thank you for sharing a little bit about your books there. One thing I would love is if you could tell people where they could come and find you and where they could get a hold of your work, because we've got some comments down here of people who are very interested in it down here. I know.
The one other thing I want to mention before we get into that is that also, because the whole thing, well, he writes fetish and monster stories. I like throwing this in there, and you guys know about this. I do a kid's book too about my own son. So that's actually getting a spinoff this year, Cat Dad and Super Mom. So imagine when you come to my table, we have to raise the level of it so we can't show the adult books, but we have it on top, and the kids' books are on bottom. So we do it all, and you can find all that at MrAnderson.com. Of course, that's all about me, but if you're looking for everything about indie, go to indieadvocates.com. And you could, if you guys have stuff you want us to put on the show, all we ask is that it be something quality and well thought out. We don't want something that's brand new and just an idea that you jotted down. You know, be prepared. We're in our year of professionalism. We want to help people be professional. Reach out to us. We'll help you. I'm literally mentoring about 7 people right now and helping them build their brand. And there are a few people from the last couple of years I've mentored who are now becoming somewhat of players, if not really big players in indie comics. And it's me paying it forward to people like Victor Dandridge and Dirk Manning and Buddy Scalia, who were all there for me early in my career. And that's what we have to do. We have to pay everything forward and help each other out, because that's just the way to do it. And you guys can find me and Power Hour of Love now on indieadvocates.com, along with some other amazing featured Kickstarters and amazing stuff that we have always being added to the site.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for including us in that incredible pitch, man. I mean, we like to think that we're some of the baddest hype dudes out here on Facebook, but we definitely bow to the master, sir. We appreciate you throwing the epic plugs, including us, man. And you do out-of-state conventions too, though, right? Didn't I just see that you were up somewhere in New England?
Not me.
No? Okay.
I do go out of the state, though. I do.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing it less this year because my son was diagnosed possibly with autism. He's going to be on the spectrum.
Okay.
So he's in school already, and that means me and him can't travel as much, and I'm his primary care parent. So I'm not going to pull him out of school to sell comics, you know.
Right.
I would love to If I win the lottery, I'm going to get a plane and I'll be able to fly the minute he gets out of class. We'll go to the con and I'll fly back. But I'm just a creator, so I'm a poor guy. You guys got to buy my comics if you want to see me. So gas money to get to New England.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so all you guys out there watching from different parts of the country, remember, you have to support not only the Advocator, but Mr. Anderson himself. Check out Fetish Babies, Barbara Unleashed, and all the work that he does over there on the Indie Advocates page. And, you know, let's help get him some bucks so he can travel around, and all of you can meet him in person just like we had the privilege to. So
absolutely, man. Yeah, like all Bandito already said, Rob, thank you so much for sharing with us all this great knowledge, everything that you do multiple times a week on there. We see you popping up on Facebook Live. We definitely try to chime in and check out as much as we can, but definitely, man, you're like I said, you got the torch, man, and you're leading the path, and we're all right behind you in the movement, man.
Well, I appreciate what you guys do. For those, I know a lot of people don't give you the credit for what you guys do. Putting on a show like this that you do is high quality. It's awesome. I got to ask you guys how you go live on Google and Facebook at the same time. I have to take brains to figure that out because I so far have to go on 2 different things at once to do it. But you guys do an amazing job, and I don't think you guys get enough credit for what you do.
Oh,
so I
man.
appreciate it.
Well,
you always have indie creators, and you're always talking about where we're going.
Well, thank you so much, man. I mean, as we've gotten more and more putting ourselves out there, we get a lot of feedback that people do appreciate what we do. So it's getting better and better all the time. What we just want to do is see you guys get connected with your fans and your audience. You know, Ori's down here saying 10,000 books sold already. You know, she's going to go buy. So people are super stoked, man. They're really loving it. The chat's blowing up saying they love what you guys have going on. So we're just happy to be able to introduce different people to different stuff. Make the world a little bit smaller. That's what the internet age is all about. And what the Power Hour is all about is spreading the love, man. Because sometimes it's so hard to get the excellent work that you do put out into the universe, man. So yeah, you know, we try the best we can to figure out how to stream to as many platforms and as much stuff as possible. Not because we need people to look at us. I mean, look at who's bigger on the screen. It would have been you. You're not there, but that's okay. But your stuff is bigger than we are because we're not here for us, man. We're here for all you beautiful people out there. That's for all you streamers out there that we'd love to promote and rep in the chat down there, man. We love you guys. We love all the creators and indie creators and just independent artists, all the people who create awesome work that we've met at cons, from the gourmet chocolatier, man, out there making chocolates. I mean, that's crazy, but she's making nerdy video game and comic book chocolates, man, and we love to promote their stuff.
Joel Winecoop.
Yeah,
awesome.
Joel Winecoop, independent
King
actor,
yep.
King of the B movies.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're privileged to be able to connect people to shit that they love, man. That's what we're all about. So but thank you.
And we love it, and definitely we want you guys to love it. So if you enjoy, you know, we got a lot of folks checking us out tonight. Thank you guys so much. If you can go ahead and hit that share button and go ahead and share the video so that some of your friends and fans, if you obviously we have a lot of creators in here tonight, can also check this out. You know, come back next week. Of course, we're gonna have another awesome show, man. We heard Rob mention Finn Balor earlier, and of course, we're happy to hear that because of course next week we're gonna be talking a little bit about the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
You know, after the event, but I know a couple of our Twitch fans are like, oh, it's that wrestling stuff again. But don't worry, we also got Kingdom Hearts 3 coming, and of course that new Resident Evil 2 remake. So there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about next week.
Oh, absolutely. We're so psyched. We're going to have an awesome show for you. Rob, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, thanks to all these wonderful people. But, Rob, I think we're going to go ahead and let you go. We're going to jump back in the studio and wrap up the show. But thank you so much, man, for taking the time to hang out with us tonight.
And thank you for having me. And thank you. I'll be on anytime you need Devil to come hang out with you.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, we hope to see you soon. Take care now.
Bye. Later, guys.
Bye. All right. Well, man, we had to give a proper goodbye because we got so many people in the house hanging out with us, man.
Oh,
Spooky Butt down there. I did see your comment where you said, man, the time difference here is going to mess you up a little bit. That's okay. Feel free to check us out whenever you like. Whenever you got free time, man. I know I'm going to come hang out in your stream regardless because I've been enjoying hanging out with you and having some fun. There's so many wonderful people out there. I see Wormwood still hanging out with us, throwing us some thumbs up. Thank you, Ori, for throwing him some wormgasms. I haven't figured out how to do that on my chat thing yet, but I'm going to work on that. I hope I can do emotes from here. But yeah, we are so excited life reboot. Looks like he chimed out a few minutes ago. I hope we didn't miss him, but thank you to him for stopping by and hanging out. Chimera, Ori, as always, thank you guys. We're gonna throw some Twitch love, special for our Twitch viewers out there.
Oh yeah, man, and as we
and of
see,
course, yeah. Oh, you want to run through the Facebook list?
Yeah, let's go ahead, man. We definitely have some Mr. Fusion joined us tonight.
Yeah.
You know, definitely we'll be seeing him in a couple weeks, man. We're getting closer and closer to our annual anniversary show.
Yes, yes. Oh, look. Okay, SeaGod77. I didn't mean to skip you. Here's one just for you, buddy. Boom, there you go. All right. But yes, Mr. Fusion will be joining us on our anniversary episode, which is going to be the week of February 14th, because, of course, the Power Hour started on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that week, we'll probably have a special 2-hour show where we will have games and prizes and all sorts of shit. Again, if you're hanging out with us on Twitch, our first 20 followers, as soon as we hit the 20-follower mark, we're going to do a raffle out of the first 20 people, and you're going to win a $20 Steam gift card for you guys to enjoy some fun games on your own. It's our thank you to you guys for hanging out with us and joining us on Twitch, because we have found that that's such a great service, man. We really love it. We'd love to get more connected with you beautiful people out there. But otherwise, I know we got some more Facebook people we got to thank.
You know it, man. You know, definitely Dean K, thank you for joining us tonight for the first, you know, he said he loved the show. We definitely love your work too, man. We'll definitely be going out there to check it out, and who knows, maybe in the future we could definitely chat, hopefully in person or maybe here on Power Hour. But also, Mikey B, thank you always for being out there and keeping the comments alive, man. And we know you do a occasional web show as well, where you go on and you talk about, and you've talked about us a few times. Mikey also does some music, man. So if you guys are definitely into some really wild rap tunes, man, definitely go check out Mikey B. I know he's got an actual page for that, so feel free to share that in the comments, Mike.
No doubt, man. Justin K, Justin Jordan, or Justin McPatches, he was hanging out with us earlier, man. All you guys over there in Facebook world, get some love. You know it. Our classic Legionnaires, we appreciate you joining us as always. Don't think that all of our love for Twitch affects the love we have for you in any way, shape, or form. But Spooky Butt did want me to mention to you, because I told her I would, man, that she was playing the Monkey Island.
Oh, man.
And I know you're a crazy fan of that.
By far, as far as adventure games go, definitely my favorite adventure game of all time, right next to Maniac Mansion. But yeah, if you haven't played it yet, definitely go and check out Thimbleweed Park. You know that's a spiritual successor to Maniac Mansion. It has a lot of fun Secret of Monkey Island little Easter eggs in there too. I'm in the middle of Escape from Monkey Island. Like, that was like after they made Grim Fandango, and like rather than it be a point and click, they made like Guybrush like a model but you have to like move them around using like the directional keys. Like, I tried to get my like controller to work, and like he's like just running in a circle.
Wasn't having it, right?
But yeah, a great series of games. Lots of fun. Lots of definitely a lot of love to Ron Gilbert and all those guys who Tim Schafer, all those dudes who created the Monkey Island series. I would love for them to make another one, and I know Ron Gilbert said that like pretty much, they were only involved in the first 2 games, so they would say, no offense to those guys that made games after us, but we just pretend like those didn't happen.
Well, look, Dean K says Grim Fandango was awesome, and Spooky Butt says Thimbleweed Park is next up on her list after she's finished all the Monkey Islands. She says she's almost finished with the 3rd one at the moment. I caught her playing Sea of Thieves earlier, though, which looks awesome, dude. We might have to look into that.
Curse of Monkey Island was a lot of fun. It was that one was more like a cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Like the earlier ones were like the King's Quest.
Yes.
Like the way you click around. But that one was a lot more animated, so that was
Gotcha.
fun. Like I said, yeah, Escape. It takes a little getting used to. It's just different. It's not the same kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
But
well, look, Ori's got a great idea. She says it sounds like Charboil and Spooky need to link up and make some cross-platform content.
Hey, I would absolutely love that. Like I said, huge Monkey Island fan. But yes, you will absolutely love Thimbleweed Park. Great voiceover work. And also, it was a Kickstarter. So, we were talking earlier about how Rob supports all the Kickstarter campaigns and stuff. Same thing. Thimbleweed Park was made with the power of Kickstarter.
Yes, so many great board games and video games on Kickstarter, guys. We encourage you to head over there. Check out some of your indie creators doing great stuff. Sea of Thieves is great. Taking a bit of a break to play SOT with some new friends. I made through streaming Monkey Island. Yeah, I don't blame you. We were telling her she might have to change her name to Spooky Booty if she keeps playing all these pirate games.
Yeah, there you go. the Ghost Pirate Spooky Booty. Awesome.
Either way, it's been a fantastic night. Thank you, all you beautiful people, for hanging out with us tonight. Next week, we're going to be back on with some fun and exciting stuff, probably mostly wrestling related, like Senor Boyle said. But coming up the week of February 14th, like we said, we're going to have some games, some prizes, special 2-hour episode. We're going to be doing some live games that you guys get to play with us. And I don't mean video games. I mean like live games, like game show games.
Yes.
So it should be super fun, man. We're very stoked about it. We'll let you guys know a little bit more about that. Also, that week, we'll be starting our second night of streaming where we'll be doing gaming on the second night.
Ooh.
Still more details to come on that. No spoilers yet. We'll probably announce it that Monday when we'll be streaming later that week. So until then, we love you guys. Stay safe. Be awesome. Any final thoughts, Senor Boyle?
Oh, man, like I said, join us next week and have another awesome action-packed show. And like Al Bandito said, stay safe, and we'll see you there. Yeah.